Hello, and welcome to a moment of reflection. A time for you to reflect on the topic that we just spoke about. Now, as I say, this moment of reflection is for individuals, especially fathers out there who know other individuals who's a stepfather in your ex's life, who's around your kids. This ain't for the stepfathers who's not taking care of that child or treating them with like a second class or second handed, being mean to them, or deciding that this is not my child, so I ain't worrying about that. Or the father who's not in that child's life, or who's want to tell you what to do, but he's not doling out any financial support or any other support for that matter. This is for individual who takes the time to be in their child's life, his or her, who knows that there's a stepfather in his life, and that stepfather is playing the role and he's doing exactly what's necessary to fulfill the part that you left out when you and your ex was not together anymore. He loves your kid unconditionally. That's who this reflection is for. For family members who know of an individual who's a stepfather, who's taking the role that the father didn't or can't anymore because he's not in her life in that capacity. Put yourself in that stepfather's shoes and see what he's seeing. See through his lens, where he loved that child unconditionally. He takes the burden and put it on his back and carries that load. And oftentimes, he's in second-class citizenship. Or the rewards are very few and in between. Or acknowledgement is something that's far and in between. Because the father is there. And most kids, they don't understand the scope of it. They love their father. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when they get older, they understand then. You have a lot of professional athletes, celebrities, who go back and they thank their step-parents who stepped into the role that their father didn't. And most of the time, you have a lot of those who decide, you know what, he's in my life, and my father isn't. And that is my father. And you have the kids who don't understand the scope of it. When they get older, they say, you know what, I understand. That man went in and he went to bat for me. And for that I appreciate it. And they go back. Go back and thank that stepfather. You thank him for what he's done. And hopefully it teaches you, when you go out there to be with women who may have kids, that you know how to treat them in the same regards. Now, as far as for women, you go out there and you teach your kids how to go about thanking and respecting that gentleman who stepped into that role. If he's respecting them, it's your responsibility to make sure they respect him back. You don't allow them to talk to him any kind of way because he's not their father and you don't have a problem with it. But you expect for him to step in when things are needed. If you're going to have kids outside of wedlock, and that's your business. But if you're going to have that outside of wedlock, just know that you're limiting yourself when it comes to the pool of potential of men. Because there's plenty of guys who will screw you, but there's not plenty of men who will take the role to take care of your child as his own. Remember that every time a man comes into your life, and I don't mean ratchetness, where you sleeping with every man you can think of, and you thinking that's going to keep him, or having a baby because you think that'll keep him. I'm talking about a man that you go in that he has some business about himself. That he know how to put things in perspective. If he goes out clubbing and whatever he doing his friend, ain't nothing wrong with that. If he know how to keep it in perspective. Okay, family first, and then I'll get with my friends. But if his friends become bigger than your family, then that's not a person you want to be with. And if she's the same way, if spending and being with her friends is more important than her kids, you don't want to be with that woman. You don't want to be a stepfather to her kids, because you can rest assured it's going to turn on you before long. You can assure you that. Because if she don't have any kind of guidance, how do you expect them kids to have any guidance? If she don't have respect for you, how do you expect those kids to have respect for you? So in this reflection, please take it upon yourself that if you're a stepfather out there, you do the best you can. And unfortunately, you might not always get the rewards for it. But it's rewarding when you look out and you know that you're responsible for the creation of that young man succeeding in life because you gave him all the proper tools when he stepped into life. You know that you're responsible for that. You might didn't create him, bring him on this earth, but you created the man that's now in front of you, or the young lady that's in front of you. Okay? Now I don't care if it's a man and a wife, or two women or two men, they're gay. That doesn't matter. Because if they take care of that child, you're good with me. You have a lot of people who politicians and pundits and ignorant people out there who will sit and tell you, oh, well, I don't want them to be with two men or two women. Yes, it does pose challenges. And that's something that you and that mother or you and that father can sit there and discuss about. And that way you put in filters or put in parallels where you all have an understanding and that child has an understanding. Because you can always say, well, he's a child, so he don't really understand. Kids are smarter than you give them credit for. So in that situation, you have to make sure that kid understands the parameters and the scope of that whole situation as they get older. But don't just force it on them. But if that child can if those people, whether they're in a gay relationship, can take care of that child, that's better than somebody who's out there who's fatherless. I'll take a couple, two women or two men together taking care of my child any day over a child who's fatherless, who has no guidance, if they're going to take in the role to take care of that child. You know, you have a lot of people who sit ignorant because of their set of ignorant standards. Now, they ain't going to come and take care of your child, but they're going to tell somebody else who we don't think you should take care of because we know what's best. You take a lot of times with people who have a problem with people who might be in gay relationships. You ask yourself, what impact does that have on you when you go home? What does it take away from your paycheck? Nothing. It's just people who, they'll sit there and tell you, oh, I think that's disgusting, them gay people right there doing that in public. But yet, no, they'll hoot and holler when you see two women kissing each other. It's double standard and it's a hypocrite. So as I said, I don't care what color you are, what gender, what sexual orientation. If you can take care of kids and you love them unconditionally, then you should embrace that and discuss and be informed so that child can have a better situation than maybe you had. And if you had a good situation, then you make your child's situation even better. So on this moment of reflection, this weekend between Thursday now, and Sunday, find the time to go to that stepfather and tell him thank you. I don't care if it's in a letter, an email, on the phone, because it don't take long to get on the phone and say thank you. A cookout for him. Now, I don't mean a cookout where he go doing the cooking. I mean you cook for him. Because mothers get taken out all the time, and they don't have to do anything. But fathers sometimes have cookouts on Father's Day, and they're doing the cooking out. The house is Father's Day. Treat him in the same regard that you would treat that mother. Just because he's a man doesn't make him less human in feelings and in understanding. You all take care. Have a good weekend. This is my moment of reflection. Have a good afternoon. Love the people around you. Love yourself. Love the world. And most of all, love your kids and the people that take care of them. Have a good afternoon. This is my moment of reflection. Good afternoon.